Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze just took place in the main event of UFC Fight Night Vegas 46, Kattar versus Chikadze, and oh my word, Calvin Kattar just dominated him over 5 rounds. I had it 5-0, a clean sweep. He walked down Giga Chikadze and beat him up for 5 straight rounds. Now, Giga Chikadze was in there the whole time, trying to land shots back of his own, but Calvin Kattar just walked him down, landed the bigger shots. He was blasting him with massive elbows, and honestly, he just beat up Giga Chikadze. He beat him up in that fight really badly. In the first round, it changed completely the mood of the entire fight. Chikadze was landing some really good kicks early on. I believe like 2 body kicks in a row. Then he went for a head kick and sort of fell off balance because it got caught on the shoulder of Calvin Kattar. And then Calvin Kattar sort of took him to the ground, got the back, picked him up, dunked him on the floor. And from that moment on, Chikadze just couldn't get back up to his feet. He had a couple of moments where he would scramble well on the ground to try and end up on top. But typically, Calvin Kattar just dominated that first round, took him down at ease, got him down there, dominated him the whole round, landed some total strikes on the ground, controlled him for the entire round, took his back in that round, got mount at one point in that round as well, but Chikadze kept scrambling to escape bad positions. But overall, after that first round where Kattar took him down, Chikadze just looked like a shell of himself, man. Round 2 can go to Giga Chikadze. He did okay in round 2, but I could still argue, despite Kattar being outlanded by 10 significant strikes, I'm going to be calling him Kattar and Kattar throughout this entire video, by the way. I want you to know that. So Kattar, it's despite being outlanded by 10 significant strikes in round 2, still landed the more effective shots. Walked down Chikadze, landed the big shots, bloodied up his face, popped his head back a couple of times, had Chikadze moving around on his bike quite a bit, whereas when Giga Chikadze would land a shot, Calvin Kattar just ignored it, kept walking forwards, barely took any damage whatsoever, and Chikadze was landing really good shots, really good body kicks, really good shots in general. But Kattar just ignored them and walked through all of them and just put a whooping on Chikadze. Holloway's looking real good right now. Holloway does this to Kattar. Kattar does a version of this but less dominantly to Giga Chikadze over 5 rounds. I guess Giga Chikadze is going to just walk down Dan Ige and beat the fuck out of him, poor Dan Ige. Either way, Calvin Kattar, in my opinion, has an argument to win every single round. There's an argument you can give Chikadze round 2, but still I think Kattar won the second round, took down Chikadze at the end of it and landed some big shots on the chin that could have been finishing blows. And then round 3 onwards was just Kattar walking him down, landing the better shots, landing good front kicks to the body at range to mess up the timing of Giga Chikadze as well, and just blasting elbows on his face, and spinning elbows as well. Like, he genuinely reinvented himself, just like Ortega did against a Korean Zombie. When he lost to Holloway in such a devastating fashion, he came back and looked great. He had good footwork, good takedown attempts here and there. He got him down at the end of the second round, and he took Chikadze down just enough to make him worry about certain positions. At the end of the 5th, they ended up on the ground, and Chikadze basically got saved by the bell. He would have been finished if there was an extra 30 seconds or so in that 5th round, but either way, credit to Chikadze. I honestly look at Giga Chikadze. I don't know if you've seen a picture of him. You obviously have seen him because you just watched him fight for 5 rounds. Otherwise, why are you watching someone react to it? He doesn't look like a man with a good chin. He looks like a really weakly chinned man who doesn't have good chin genetics whatsoever. But he took shots so well. He definitely has a granite chin. Kept taking them, kept trying to throw back, had a couple of good body kicks here and there each and every round, couple of good punches upstairs as well, would trade jabs with Kattar, but again, it was just noticeable the power difference and the quality of the punches difference as the rounds went on. The overall numbers were actually 144 to 128, but in terms of real shots that did anything, like, I reckon Kattar definitely doubled him on those kinds of shots. You know what I mean? Landed big shots, went to the body a couple of times. I think if he did start punching to the body a little bit more, then maybe he could start getting some KOs, but Chikadze kept throwing this step-in elbow, so I think that sort of put off Kattar's willingness to drop his hands and lean straight in for a body shot, so I get it. He didn't feel like the body shots were there with the hands. I feel like if he landed a couple of those, a few more of those every round, probably Chikadze would have got finished in that 5th, but credit to Chikadze, man. He looked done at the end of the second. He genuinely looked done at the end of the second. He had some moments at the start of the second where he wanted to change things up and make sure he won the round. But you could just see him after he got taken down in the first round. He was scared to kick. Like, genuinely scared to kick. He did not chop at the legs. He did not chop at the legs whatsoever. he barely threw body kicks. I feel like he threw like 4 of them around, something like that, and some of them missed. A couple of head kicks missed here and there as well. Kattar defended them, blocked them, or moved out of the way and made Chikadze nearly fall over. But he was genuinely scared to kick past that first round. Hesitating. Kattar would close the distance because of him hesitating, land a couple of big shots, couple of big elbows, make Chikadze wobble all over the place. At the end of the 5th round, he really badly hurt him. I mean, this was just a great performance by Calvin Kattar. And, I'm a bit annoyed that this happened, okay? Bit annoyed that this happened because I did want Giga Chikadze, the new face, who hasn't fought any of the top guys, to make it to the top of the division and be a fresh matchup for everyone, because we've seen Kattar get demolished by Max Holloway, so the idea of maybe them two rematching again is not going to be a very hyped up fight because of the dominance of the first fight, of course, but man, Kattar's always dangerous. I wouldn't like to see a rematch with Holloway. I'd like to see a rematch with Zabit Magomedsharipov for Calvin Kattar next. That's my opinion. And I'm actually glad that Chikadze didn't move on, because if Chikadze moved on, he probably would have taken a title shot from the Korean Zombie, which I wouldn't have been that angry about, because he probably earned it a bit more than Korean Zombie if he beat Calvin Kattar. But he would have ruined Holloway's title shot chances. And if they didn't give him the title shot over Korean Zombie, they probably would have done Korean Zombie for the belt, and then Holloway, you got to take on Chikadze next. And that would have been really bad, and I wouldn't have liked that. So I'm glad this means Holloway will get his title shot next without having to fight anyone in the meantime. We just need Volkanovski to beat the Korean Zombie, and don't let Korean Zombie mess everything up, please. And then we can have that Volkanovski-Holloway trilogy. I think this is, if it all works out and Volk wins against the Korean Zombie, it's all accidentally worked out perfectly, because being one fight removed from that Holloway fight isn't a great thing anyway. So if he beats Korean Zombie in the meantime, he'll be 2 fights removed, just like how many fights Holloway's removed from his fight with Volkanovski as well. And then they'll do the trilogy, and then we'll do Zabit versus Kattar for a title shot, maybe. That could happen. If Kattar wins, maybe not. If Zabit wins, I guess he could earn a title shot, because there'd be some really good wins. And Kattar, in my opinion, I can make an argument for Kattar to be ranked number 2 in the world right now at featherweight. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with his rankings, because the guy's got a pretty tasty resume at featherweight. Andre Fili, Shane Burgos, who's ranked right now, and I believe is ranked where? Number 14 in the division. So he's ranked in a division, coming off a win as well. Shane Burgos, really good win. He beat Dan Ige, really good win. And now he's just beat Giga Chikadze. So he's got 3 ranked wins, and Ortega's got 1 against a Korean Zombie. Renato Moicano ain't around no more. You know what I'm saying? Edgar ain't around no more at featherweight. These guys that Ortega beat to be ranked number 2 in the world, they aren't in the rankings. Kattar's beating guys that are currently relevant at featherweight, and I think I could argue at least he should be at number 3 in a division. He should definitely be above the Korean Zombie. And he also should be above Yair Rodriguez, because again, Yair Rodriguez's best win is Jeremy Stephens, and Kattar flatline KO'd him. Well, not flatline, but finished him off. Really badly KO'd him. Yair took him to a close decision that was somewhat competitive over 3 rounds. I know he did it first, but at the same time, Kattar's got Yair's legacy and resume, but beat it with extra names like Dan Ige and Giga Chikadze, so he should definitely be at number 3. I think he's got to move up to number 3 in that division. Maybe you move Yair below the Korean Zombie, because the Korean Zombie was winning that whole fight before the end. So I don't want that 1 loss and 1 elbow to hold back Korean Zombie's ranking spot. So I would do Kattar and Yair Rodriguez switch. Ortega can stay at number 2. Maybe Kattar can even take number 2, because again, no Renato Moicano, no Clay Guida in the top of the rankings. Like, it's just like, he hasn't really got great wins when you look back at it in hindsight compared to the division and how it looks now. So I think Calvin Kattar's definitely number 2, number 3 in the world. I'd like to see him versus Zabit next in a 5-rounder as well, and I won't let that slide. He needs to fight in a 5-rounder. Zabit, if he wants a title shot next, should have to fight in a 5-rounder against Kattar. It'll be great storyline, because the first fight was supposed to be 5 rounds, and Kattar probably would have finished him if it was 5 rounds, because he was walking down Zabit at the end of the 3rd, and Zabit was gassing like he does every single fight. And of course, the reason for his absence apparently has been to fix an abdomen problem that was making his cardio bad, according to his gym. Now, of course, this has only come up after the fact. Of course, when he first looked bad in the cardio, Zabit's team said it was always staph infection. He always had staph infection. But now that they've taken the surgery, it wasn't the staph infection that they said it was every single time. He didn't have staph infection. He just gassed out because of an abdomen thing. I don't know what I believe of that whole situation, but surely it'll make him better now that he's fixed himself up. I'd like to see a rematch with that storyline. And if he really has improved his cardio, he'll go 5 rounds of Kattar and beat him this time, or at least win the first 3 and survive the last 2. So I'd like to see that fight happen next. I know it's back-to-back for Zabit to fight Kattar, but what else are you going to do? Let's make that fight. Other than that, I can maybe see a Kattar versus Josh Emmett, but I ain't interested in that, so let's do him versus Zabit. Kattar's going to want someone up the rankings. He's not going to want to look behind him. Zabit isn't in the rankings in general, but he does have a win over Kattar, and Kattar brings it up a lot, so you can tell it bugs him that he lost because it should have been 5 rounds, but Zabit turned down 5 rounds on short notice, even though it was a main event for like one of the first times ever. But that's Zabit. He can't go 5 rounds. He knows it. He's pussy. So I'd like to see Kattar versus Zabit in May, the start of May, late April, reasonably fast because they're not getting any younger. Kattar's like 33, I believe, 32 years of age, so let's get him right back in there. Late April, early May, fight night main events. Also in late April/early May, Yair Rodriguez versus Brian Ortega. And for Giga Chikadze, what's next for him? I guess you can do Dan Ige. Dan Ige versus Giga Chikadze. I'd watch it. That'd be a good fight. Maybe if Topuria wins against Jourdain, Topuria can jump up and try and beat Chikadze. Maybe there's some beef there. They're both Georgian, right? No, they probably wouldn't fight each other. Never mind. Maybe Evloev, something like that. So we'll see what happens for Giga Chikadze. I think he's lost his main event privileges now because he's quite low down the rankings. It wouldn't really make as much sense. So I can see him being on like the main card of a pay-per-view, 3 rounds against Dan Ige, or maybe the headliner of the prelims, or something along those lines. Co-main event of a fight night with a good main event above it. That could work instead, but yeah, Giga Chikadze got humbled, really. Got kind of exposed in his game. Take him down once, he's shit scared to throw kicks for the rest of the round. And Kattar just mixed up the elbows, span a little bit as well, kept it interesting. Chikadze would land shots that would KO maybe some other guys, but Kattar just ignored them. Took body kicks, flush to the body. Ignored them. Kept walking him down. Kept landing shots. At times landed triple jabs, followed up by a big elbow, or a step-in elbow, or sometimes a knee in the clinch. So, you just got to grapple with Chikadze, and he worries about him too much. That's what Emmers did, it seems, and when you think about it, no one's really tried to grapple him since then. Omar Morales didn't really try. Edson didn't really try. You know, that Jamie Simmons guy didn't really try and grapple him either, so it kind of makes sense that he dominated those guys. Mixing the takedown a bit, he completely changes his level of fighting and starts worrying about the takedown. So this tells me that Volk would probably beat him. And I think he would probably finish him on the ground as well by like just posturing up and beating the shit out of him. I could see Volk out grappling him. I'm still interested in seeing Giga take on the top guys though. So go in there against Dan Ige. Have a reasonably quick turnaround late April, early May, around that time. And then we'll get you going. If you win that one, all of a sudden you're looking at the winner of Ortega Rodriguez, the winner of, or maybe just the Korean Zombie if he loses to Volkanovski and still in the top 5. You know what I mean? Like, there's still big matchups for Chikadze to get right back in there, but not at the moment. The top of the featherweight division is full, and it's full of Chikadze. No, it's full of Kattar, Holloway, and Volkanovski, it seems. So, yeah, good job by Kattar. Zabit rematch next. I just loved his patience the whole time. And honestly, he looked like he was slowing down in some moments as well, but it's just different mentality, I guess. You know, he's been there before. He just went through it with 5 rounds against Holloway. He's been in those deep waters. Although he had a 5-round main event, Giga Chikadze's never been 5 rounds. You know what I mean? He's been 3 rounds against, Omar Morales, Erwin Rivera. It's different against the top guys, and we found that out today. I mean, he was literally shit scared of Kattar after he took him down in the first round. Great performance by Kattar. Didn't see it coming whatsoever. Really amazing win. I'm happy for him because people were shitting on Kattar the entire week long. Just the entire time. Just shitting on him. Delusional this, delusional that. You got destroyed, lol. Max's son. All of that shit. And now he's just destroyed and got right back in the win column. Good for him. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. Toodle pip. I'll see you later. Goodbye.